Talib Kweli and Consequence beefing on social media. What up, where's your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Before I start this, right, I want to say one thing. Remember that song, These Are Our Heroes by Nas? If I'm not mistaken, I believe that was Nas. He had a song called These Are Our Heroes. You could have never told me in a million years. Let me just, before I even start this nonsense right here. You could have never told me in a million years that our heroes, I'm not even just these two, I'm talking about the state of our this thing we love called hip hop. That many of our heroes, the worst thing that happened was for them to get social media. The literal worst things. You know, the ones that still have good standing in the eyes of the public, who still are recognized as GOATs, are the hip hop rappers, hip hop artists that are dead because they can't say nothing else. Biggie, Tupac, people like that. And the ones who don't do a lot of social media. Jay-Z, Nas, Lil Wayne. The people who seem to be falling from grace and who seem to be the worst kind of people, the worst is coming out of these people, are the people who got social media and they already had social they had social problems that we didn't know about before they got it. And when they got it, it became so apparent that this person is a total disaster and we should never have access to this person's inner thoughts. Now, I want to give some case in points, but it's not necessary. You already know who I'm talking about. You know that rapper that you used to think was so cool until they got a social media account and they started to post the goofiest stuff, the most ridiculous things, and they started to respond to everyone. People that have one follower, they'll clap back and get upset and get in their feelings, right? You see it all the time. You see Cardi B clapping back at 80% of the people who talk smack to her. You're like, Cardi, why are you speaking to this person? Nicki Minaj does it, right? Pete Rock does it. Like, you see some of the people that you used to think were invincible, right? You used to see these people, you bought their music and you thought they were like gods. And I say that to start this off because Consequence and Talib Kweli were, for lack of a better word, immortalized, excuse me, in this thing called hip hop. Consequence and Talib Kweli were immortalized in this thing called hip hop forever. Talib Kweli was part of the raucous movement that ushered in a new era of backpack and boom bap. When everything was shiny suit, raucous came along and broke the doors down. When backpack rap had no chance and rappers that really were underground with something to say had no chance because Diddy and 50 and everybody else had the game on smash, Raucous Records came through and made noise. And Kanye was a part of that Raucous Records movement. He helped that usher that movement to where it was. Talib Kweli and Mos Def were like godlike at one point, two hip hop heads. And they were going toe to toe with any of your rappers that you thought were nice at the time. They were able to rock with any of them. Consequence was the rapper that was entered into one of the greatest hip-hop groups of all time, A Tribe Called Quest, by virtue of being Q-Tip's cousin. Consequence was added to some disapproval, such as myself. He was added as an honorary member, not even honorary. He was a member of A Tribe Called Quest for that last album. I believe, no, I think the last two albums, Beats, Rhymes, and Life and Love Movement. Correct me if I am wrong, but I know at one point it might have been Beats, Rhymes, and Life that Consequence was added to A Tribe Called Quest, which made him an instant legend. Love him or hate him, he was now in the halls, in the annals of time. He was going to go down in history as a member of Phife Dawg, Q-Tip, Jarobi, and Muhammad. He was a part of the legendary team. So that association made him legendary. Consequence became legendary by associating himself with that seminal group, A Tribe Called Quest, who to this day, their music is still untouched. No one can match the Tribe's music, just to be honest with you. Say what you will, but you can't say nothing else than what I just said is irrefutable. So, end of the day, these two guys are legends and walk in the footsteps of legends. But with that same thing that I told you earlier about social media, they fell for this trap and have become victims of trying to, I don't know what the word is, not stay relevant. It is, but it's not. It's something else. Because I don't know if a person has to respond every time someone says something to them via social media. You have to one up and one up and one up and one up. But for whatever reason, Talib and Consequence, even when Consequence was on Love and Hip Hop, that era was pre-social media, and it was ugly then, where it was you have to respond and one up. And he was going with his thing with Joe Budden. He had to fight Joe Budden and whoever else he was fighting on that show. They tried to jump him, but I don't know. I don't remember. It was about 12 years ago. I don't know. But it was a chink in the armor then with Consequence. And we all watched it unfold on TV. We started to see that just because our favorite rappers had bars, it didn't make them immune. And I'm holding back. I don't want to say to being corny, right? I don't want to say to being corny. What I want to say is it didn't make them immune from making mistakes, right? And I feel like ever since Talib Kweli and Consequence were given the spotlight outside of just straight up hip hop, because Kweli is still barring you down. If you heard that new Black Star, he ain't lost a step. These are some of his best bars of his career. Him and Mos Def on his Black Star album, right? Now, I have my own issues with the album, the production and how they rolled it out, but at the end of the day, his rapping is A1, stellar. And Consequence rapping on that last Tribe record after Phife passed, the thank you for your service, we got it from here, something like that, or vice versa. Consequence put in work on that Tribe album, but outside of them lyrically, for some reason these two have become seekers of some type of validation, because you can't say anything to them without a response. Talib is on Twitter. I don't know if this man even sleeps. He's fighting racists from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. like nonstop. Every single solitary racist that says anything, Talib is coming with a retort. He's going to quote your tweet. He's going to retweet you. He's going to respond to you. He's going to dig up data and talking points, and he's going to, it's exhausting. I want to say it was probably 3-4 years ago. I went on one of Talib's Twitter posts and I was like, bruh, please. Leave all this avenging black people. I get it. Like, you're doing too much. You're going at every single guy on here. Every troll. You're going at every troll. Every guy that has something to say to you, you're responding. It's like, bruh, please. I know you could be doing something else. And it dims your light for these guys. You start to look at them different. So you got Consequence fighting Joe Budden or whoever on TV. You got Talib Kweli back and forth at every single person online. So they start to look goofy. And I'm going to get into this thing right now. So I went all the way around because I'm disappointed. I went all the way around the Marbury Bush. I didn't even tell you what they was beefing about. So I'm going to read this real quickly. I ain't going to hold you all night. And let you make your decision. The article goes as such. The social commentary from Kanye West about the Jewish community and BLM has pitted the 22-time Grammy Award winner against some of the biggest heavyweights in the media. Kanye West has declared intellectual war, and many of those associated with him have also incurred their fair share of battles. A heated exchange recently broke out between Talib Kweli and Consequence, who is a known collaborator of Kanye. When Consequence accused Talib of trying to take advantage of a recent firestorm that West created. According to Consequence, Talib allegedly contacted him about appearing as an interviewee on his podcast. Consequence has remained supportive of Ye during his fall from grace and took offense to Talib's requests. He then aired out his grievances with Talib on Twitter. So this is about Talib inviting Consequence to come onto Twitter. To come onto his podcast. And I could read you all these tweets, but I'm going to make it short for you. Talib claims he never invited him. Consequence put up a letter saying, an email showing him that he did. Talib says, that wasn't me. That was the guy that produces my show. And I have questions for him. He's got a lot to explain, a lot of answers to give me because I would never have had Consequence on this show. Right? He said Consequence is not welcome on the show and I don't want him on the show. Right? So this is what Consequence wrote. This is what Talib wrote. I'm down to do interviews because I feel clarity is needed to be conveyed through productive communication in order to move forward. But inward, let's not play no stupid games. I'm sorry, this is Consequence. 1 minute you internet thugging, next minute you want an interview. Come on, beloved, what we doing? When I saw you with Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, you expressed that you wanted to put it to bed with Ye. So this feels like you're trading integrity for clout. If you want me to do a sit down with you, this thing is bugging. Hold on. If you want me to do a sit down with you to be in the hot seat, then call me like a real one. Either Q-Tip, Khalil, or Chris Rock, or DJ Chicken Fingers got my math. Oh, that's right. You think you DJ Chicken Fingers. Let me know what we doing. Queens, get the money. Talib responded by referring to Consequence in an excerpt from Billboard where Mos Def responded to Ye's White Lives Matter where the shirt says White Lives Matter. They went back and forth. And at the end of the day, it appears to me that these guys are not doing this genuinely. It feels like they are doing it for X amount of clout, in my opinion, and not even clout. Clout is the wrong word. They're trying to one-up each other, right? Talib goes, bro, you're not a good friend. Stop the cap. You called Nori. He's talking to Kanye. You called Nori because he's the only one who would let you come on after the shop shelved you because you were screaming White Lives Matter. And everyone during that taping. You know for a fact Drink Champs is not a political show, but you went on there to regurgitate lies about black people from Candace Owens, who was a political talking head. You literally wore a 2024 hat announcing your political aspirations. You took advantage of Nori, someone who was giving you the benefit of the doubt. Right? And he went on and on. So then that's what Talib was saying, the consequence. He also went, so wait, you see racist trolls trying to weaponize me against you, and instead of calling that out, you falsely accuse me of internet thugging, all because I stated that I'm not frightened of you. That tells me that your goal was to frighten me. Let's be clear, I'm not scared of you at all. Nobody is. Now, to even be more clear, I didn't approve this because I have no desire to interview you at all. I didn't ask anyone to email you, and frankly, I'm upset that my team sent this email because you are not welcome on my show. Me having you on my show would have looked sus. Speaking of sus, why have you failed to call out Kanye West? Right? It appears that my two guys have both fallen from grace. Now, this is something that could have been a phone call, a heated phone call. And when I told you in the beginning, some people don't need social media, this is what I'm talking about. It could have been a heated phone call. They could have hashed it all out, even if they needed to get together and hash it out. But for a consequence to go on social media and post, Talib was trying to get me for an interview, and he sounds like he's trying to talk directly to Talib when it's on his social media. Makes no sense to me. It's the legit a clout move. To say, this dude wants me for an interview. Haha, guys, look at this guy. He's a clown. He wants me for an interview. There's zero reason to do that. Now, I get it that Talib is trying to defend himself. But all of this stuff, he's throwing Kanye in the conversation. None of that's necessary. Consequence put it up that you want an interview. All you had to do is say, dude, I would never interview. And left it at that. All this rhetoric about Kanye, we know Talib don't rock with Kanye right now. Right? They went on and on. Consequence starts talking about how Talib got played. They was laughing at him. David was laughing at him, making jokes about him, getting clowned by Kanye. It just went too far. And like I said, our heroes are starting to look low-key lame right now. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. So I don't know if you need more in-depth breakdown of this situation. I don't. All I need to know is these two dudes are going back and forth trying to one-up each other, and they both, after you argue with somebody for so long, both of y'all look stupid. Right? I need our heroes back. Put down these phones and talk to each other. Kanye went on Drink Champs and dissed Talib. Talib has been on a 3-4 month mission to diss Kanye every chance he gets. It's called dialogue, bro. Grown man stuff. Talib could be spending this energy promoting that album, getting people to go sign up to Luminary, instead of spinning his wheels, going back and forth with Consequence and trying to get Kanye to respond so he can get more clout from the conversation. I'm done with this, man. I want my heroes to rap. Just rap, bro. Ain't nobody winning this. This is no one won. You both lost. Consequence, you lost. Talib, you lost. I need y'all both to give it up. Quit. Right? Quit. Quit this. Stop. Today. Shouldn't be no more tweets. It's like when Royce battled Lupe. Shouldn't have ever happened. Should have never happened. We shouldn't have had to sit through those 2 records or 3 records, whatever they gave you. It was dumb. So I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what you think in the comments about this. Whose side you on? Who cares? It's goofy. And at the end of the day, my heroes have let me down. Get back to rapping. Get back to the music. And that's all I got to say. My name is Chuckwick, a.k.a. Charles Brown, CLBMG.com. Every Wednesday we do Clash the Podcast. Go check that out. It's live. We talk about hip-hop, sports, current events. We have a good time. essentialvarieties.org. Go check that out. And I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
CLBMG.